Hi, welcome to Q Weekly. I'm Mark Porter. We have a show that's jam-packed full of information that'll tantalise and titillate all your pink bits, all in that order. So slip on a chiffon brunch coat and some marabou scuffs, sit back and pop open a bottle of bubbly, throw your legs in the air and relax and enjoy. Tonight we have Fruit Box with Kim and her pals, tackling a very interesting subject tonight, so stay tuned for that one. That should be very interesting. We have an out video review with produced by Alan Duncan with Harriet and Steve, and we also have Linzi Kurloff with the news, so that should be something to look forward to. I don't know whether anybody's seen tonight this week's Star Observer with Dale on the front cover in his Ken Doan camouflage. That was quite interesting. Well done, Dale. I think that's now available at Target in Hoppish. So get down there and buy your Ken Doan camouflage. So now it's over to Kim at Fruit Box.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Fruit Box. I'm Kim Vassallo, and with me this week Michael King.
Hey Kim, hi everybody.
I was going to say Secretary and General...
Dog's Body down at Beng
TV.
TV. Yeah,
Welcome,
definitely.
Michael.
Thank you.
And Dr. Beng Yu from the Paran Market Clinic. And we have, sucking on an egg, hello Chris Gill from the Victorian Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby, and Trevor Forever, our favourite drag king.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Trevor. You're so far away from me today.
Oh, no.
What's happening?
Actually, they told me to keep my distance. Apparently, you had a word to them earlier, but I promise
I'll talk to management about
I won't
that.
hang around your front gate so much.
No, that's fine.
Well, not where you can see me anyway.
Thanks, Trevor. This week on the Fruit Box, we are going to tackle two rather interesting questions. The first one is signed Scat Man and reads as follows. I was recently involved in scat and found it a real turn-on. It was a new experience for me. Can you tell me if there are any scat clubs in Melbourne? Is scat safe? Okay, my first question goes to any of the panel members that can answer it. What is scat?
Well, it's a musical term, and it's also an ability to... Ella Fitzgerald was very good at things like that. Yeah, sorry.
I don't quite think that works in this
Here's a little hint, Kim.
Yes?
Here's a little hint.
Yes?
Do you want to see my John Howard impersonation?
So it's something to do with chocolate on the nose.
Right. Beng.
Still not-
I
Yeah,
think
take it on the medical
let's
side
take this
first.
from a
Alright,
medical side,
Is it
shall
safe?
we?
Yeah.
Yes, scat.
Scat is basically shit. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, that's a little bit
okay.
rude.
Okay.
Easy. Is that straightforward?
Right,
Yeah,
is this
okay.
when I need to put this on? Because quite frankly, I think at this point in the conversation, I'd rather just be a bit covered up and feel a bit safe. Thank you very much. So,
All right,
is scat safe?
All right, not that I'm a scat specialist of any sort, but scat is relatively safe if you know what you're doing. There are certain risks you can get from scat, which is basically picking up infections from someone's shit scat. And you can pick up hepatitis A, parasite infections and all that, so don't get it into your mouth or don't get it into your hands and into your mouth or anything like that. So you need to be clean in between. And it carries the same risk as rimming, which is actually something you need to think about too. So guys who are into rimming, you have to think about all that too. And it's also a good time to talk about hepatitis A vaccinations and why guys should be vaccinated for hepatitis A.
All gay men should be vaccinated for hepatitis A because you just never know where the shit's going to end up. You get on your fingers and then it goes on the nipple and then, you know, there's the lurking danger of shitty nipples, which widely underestimated health risk, shitty nipples. So get vaccinated.
I find if you bunch up the toilet paper, it stays really pretty much around. Occasionally, little slipsies, and then it's the toilet paper again. But then use sorry.
Michael, would you like to... Are there any scat clubs in Melbourne?
Not that I'm aware of, and thank God for that, but I'm sure that if you contacted us at bentv@bigpond.com.au, we'll find out for you, or pass on, if there's anyone watching who's particularly interested, we'll pass on your details. But whether it's a turn on or not, well, personally, no. But I did actually get a story from a straight boy at my work, not to mention names, Regan, who said this week that actually saw dog faeces on the street and he got a hard-on. So there are people out there who are in your club.
He could come around to my place because I've got a rather big dog, and I do find it a bit of a chore to pick up after her.
If he's really worried and wants an expert medical opinion of his scat behaviours, I think he should probably keep a log of all of his behaviours.
Okay. Ads in gay paper and sauna walls. Are there any? Do people advertise for scat partners, is it?
If you're that interested about it, put an ad in MCV and see if you get any response. I'm sure that you're not, well, I know you're not the only person into it, so...
Right. You have to, like, say, poo friends?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little rude.
Okay, well, we're running out of time on that question, so I think we've answered all that sufficiently for Mr. Scatman
We've
out there
shit
somewhere.
enough.
We
We've
have,
been
yes,
talking
we
enough
have talked enough shit, haven't we? Our next question comes from a member of our panel today, and I'm not going to reveal which one because they might be rather embarrassed. The question is, dear panel, is it a sin to masturbate my Rottweiler?
Only if your Rottweiler is a Roman Catholic. Look, I'm a bit worried because, of course, the Rottweiler starts to assume and associate the presence of people with the masturbation, which could make having guests over for dinner rather difficult. The dog will get aroused and try and mount your guests. Some guests might like that, but I suspect your mother-in-law might maybe not, so just be careful with that. And I think the RSPCA might have something to say about this.
Yes. Can I just ask, though, is it not... Would you say you masturbate? What's the difference between masturbating and having sex?
Well, of course, you know why. We all know why dogs lick their balls. It's because they can. But they've got these claws which make it rather difficult to, you know...
So, but if you're masturbating your Rottweiler, you're not masturbating, you're having sex with it. Unless your Rottweiler touches itself.
Well, either way, it's a bit of a worry because the Rottweiler, you know, that's giving the dog a bone too far, OK? Just...
A boner. Trevor? You've got a big dog, you've just told us.
Yes, I have, and certainly it's a little bit rude, this subject today, isn't it, really? Personally, well, I did have that childhood accident and a bit of a hormonal problem.
Are you uncomfortable with this one, Trevor?
Well, I'm a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because also, again, like Chris said, with the guests, that could be a problem with public liability insurance, and that makes it difficult for the rest of us in the world to pay our insurance policies because, like, they go up with the people with the dog and the dinner guests, and there's probably screaming and not very nice, really. And certainly the Rottweilers, if they were unhappy, then they could bite you really badly, and that would be very frightening.
Would you use a muzzle?
I'd say just don't do it at all. I'd say, yes, it is a sin, and I'd say go out and get a man. A friend.
I don't believe that's a sin, but there are all sorts of different health risks with masturbating Rottweilers, of which I don't know what they are, but I'm sure vet would.
Bite marks?
Probably.
Bite marks?
Yes.
If you really, really must do it, make sure you trim your fingernails.
Is a Rottweiler male or female? Would that make a difference?
Well, yes, it would make a difference because masturbating a Rottweiler would happen in an entirely different way and would go back to our former subject in a way.
You really would need trim fingernails, wouldn't you?
But also, is it legal? Is it legal to masturbate a Rottweiler?
I'm not sure about that. I think it's only cruelty to the Rottweiler if you do it badly.
Yes, well, I think the general consensus of the panel is that Maybe you should just leave
it
the dog alone.
Yeah, go to the sauna.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes. So that's this week's Fruit Box. If you would like us to talk about your issues, problems, if you have any questions for us, please write to us at P.O. Box, P.O. Box 6256 St Kilda Road, Melbourne 8008, or benttv@bigpond.com.au. Thank you to our panel members for coming along today, and we'll see you soon. And it's back to the studio.
So for an annual subscription of just $30 or $20 concession, you can help us produce these programs. So just send us an email at benttv@bigpond.com.au, or drop us a line to PO Box 6256 St Kilda Road Central. I've got chocolate everywhere here. It is chocolate. St Kilda Road Central, Melbourne 8000. And now it's over to Steve and Harriet for a review from Out Video.
And this week, Harriet and I are at the Astor again to review a BBC costume drama which has rather a queer bent.
There's a rose in my heart for you.
Harriet and I have now moved up to the dress circle in the Astor Theatre, and we're now going to talk about Tipping the Velvet from Out Video. Now, Harriet, I understand you've actually read the book.
I read the book 3 years ago, was absolutely thrilled, couldn't put it down, and then handed it to everybody that I know, and then of course was very thrilled to find out it was coming out on film, and just recently heard it was coming out on the ABC as a serial.
Oh, so the ABC are going to be showing it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Well, this is actually a BBC production. Now, the BBC are very well known for their costume dramas, and this is no exception, I can tell you. Now, it's got a lesbian story to it. Now, being a gay man, I don't always tend to go for the lesbian storylines, but I sat down and watched this. Within 10 minutes, it had me hooked, and the storyline flows and keeps you going with it.
She's just everything to me. And I am to her as well. Remember how I used to feel like there was something wrong with me? How I never felt anything much when I was with Freddie? Well, it turns out there's nothing wrong with me at all. She only has to touch me, or sometimes even just a look.
I don't want to hear anymore. You're disgusting.
Now, the actual programme basically goes through Nan's coming out, meeting Kitty, and her life as a lesbian in the 1890s. Now, contrary to popular belief, the Victorians were not that stuffy about things like sex and pornography. They weren't as staid as everyone thinks they were. And even though in 1890 Oscar Wilde was arrested for homosexuality, I understand that Queen Victoria actually refused to believe that lesbians existed. So Nan and Kitty could do this quite openly without being arrested.
May I really touch you?
Nan. I think I shall die if you don't. I do love you, Nan. So very much.
It also brings us to 2003 in modern time because of our drag kings, and I was, I guess, sort of comparing the entertainment of today and yesteryear in a way when I was watching the film.
It actually shows not just lesbians in the actual poor working family, but also the lesbians in the aristocracy as well. So it does actually show that homosexuality through the whole spectrum of society. Now, when I was watching this, I was looking at the actress that plays Nana. I think Rachel Sterling's her name, and I kept saying, where have I seen her before? And I just found out she's actually Diana Rigg's daughter. Okay.
Yes, Diana Rigg, we remember her.
Yes, from the Avengers. Of course I do. Cheeky moo. Yes. Yes, and now who was the author of the book?
Sarah Waters, and by the way, I'd like to just add too, she has Fingersmith, an amazing novel, and also about that same era, but it has a different feel to it, a darker feel to it, and I think you'll enjoy that novel too.
Okay, and it's also worth noting that Andrew Davis did the screenplay version. The adaptation is very good. It's well worth seeing. Now, boys, it's not just for the girls. As I said, I actually watched it. I was hooked, and there is actually one small scene with boys in it as well. So get along down to Out Video, get Tipping the Velvet out. You'll enjoy it.
Tipping the Velvet is available from Melbourne's own Out Video. Come and visit us in person at 13 Brighton Road, St Kilda, right opposite St Kilda Town Hall, or on the web at www.out.com.au.
Thanks, Steve and Harriet, for that in-depth review. Going back to our segment earlier on Fruitbox, there is a website that you can view if you like, or it's www.scatshack.com. So for all those that are interested, go and have a look at that. After the break, we'll come back with Lindsay Kay and her view of the news. Just a reminder that if you want to subscribe or if you want to write a letter to Fruitbox, drop us a line at our email address, which is bentv@bigpond.com.au, or drop us a line at 6256 PO Box 6256, St Kilda Road Central, Melbourne 8008. So the Shield Sisters are on this week at the Comics Lounge, which is where we're coming to from today. And their shows are actually sold out, but congratulations, girls. They've raised over $40,000 in the last 9 years for different charities. This year's charity is the HIV Haemophiliac Award at the Royal Children's Hospital, so it's a really worthy cause. So congratulations, girls, for that sold-out show. And now it's over to Lindsay Kay for her view of the news.
You know what happens? I keep looking up at you and you're not nodding. Oh, hello, good evening, jokers, smokers and pokers. I'm Lindsay and this is Queer News. Australians breathed a collective sigh of relief this week when the man who believed 14-year-old girls were responsible for luring priests into their love nest finally got the hint that nobody really liked his grotesque attitudes towards child abuse and resigned. Of course, our Prime Minister, the ever-considerate and objective Mr Sheen, has now admitted that he made a mistake in the GG's appointment. He also admitted that no checks were done and that his appointment was based purely on his community work. Of course, us lay folk, we can't take $50 out of our bank accounts unless we are checked, double-checked, cross-checked, and you're lucky if you get the bloody check at all. Seems a tad odd, eh? So I'm putting my hand up to be the next GG of Australia, as I believe I meet the criteria. I've done community work, have been inside a church, and have been known to wear a frock in my time. But the only thing I can see holding me back is that I don't have a wife, Canberra's a great place to visit, and I view 14-year-old girls a little differently. Oh well, for me, I guess it's back to the dole queue and single life. And duck and cover, folks. No, not against the threatening attack of terrorists, but of queer, gender-freak, trans boy, girl, fag dykes. Yes, good folk of community television, when you next visit your favourite bar, pray to the heavens that the fad sweeping New York lesbians does not grace our doorsteps. Lesbians dressing up as boys, strapping down their boobies just to deliver pizzas, go shopping or have that all-important latte with a pal is sweeping the streets of New York faster than a terrorist on a mini-bike. The trans boy movement, as it is known, seems fantastically avant-garde and new. But you address these girls as boys and one must address them in their boys' names at all times. But are these fag-dyke, nipple-busting trans boys doing nothing more than getting the boys back for years of calling each other she in public, being overtly queenie and dressing up in tasteless women's clothing? My only problem here is once you've come out and told the olds that you're gay, wouldn't they be a tad confused when you bring home Rex, your new girlfriend with double Ds, forcing that very small T-shirt and that bulge in her pants as a limp lump of plastic perhaps, pretending to be a boy thingy. So to comply, I've changed my name to Bob, have a new tattoo simply reading Mother, and drive a smart Suzuki hatch. But that's not all that's new in identity crises. Fag dykes nothing, there is a new race of superior being coming your way known simply as the fag stag. The fag stag, the sensitive new age youth of today that finds having gay men as friends as necessary as a David Beckham haircut. One of these, a new breed, actually admits he has more gay friends than straight. Cal's surprise. Many gays also have straight friends also, but we just don't find it necessary to create a movement around the concept. So I've come up with my own term for gays who have more straight friends than gay friends, and the term simply is friends. Or perhaps all this is just gay hype that is preparing us for the upcoming Paul Hogan film where he plays a gay man with a partner to escape taxes. And believe me, even the most hardened of us need more than a Beck's powder to accept this. I pray there are no sex scenes, as there's something about this whole concept that is a tad spooky. What other people decide to use... Oh, sorry, it should be. What if other people decide to use this concept of tax evasion? Could we see another tasty raid, but this time for retired tax evaders? I wonder if the police will remember their gloves this time. And who could have escaped the other news in the entertainment industry this week when an Australian film took out one of the most coveted Cannes Film Awards? The movie Firecracker nipped Beng TV's 3-hour entry, Lesbian Has Latte with X, and our other 10-minute offering, Candy Learns Calligraphy, by 10 votes more than Britain's entry in the Eurovision Song Contest, who scored 0, zilch when the judges saw their performance. And we all saw it too, and that's a sad part for these obviously very talented Brits. And I say talented, it has been at least almost 500 years since a new key was added to the music scale, and these kids have managed to do it. And with such bravery and verve as I've never seen before in the music industry, I'm certainly hoping I see a lot more of them. And in sport this week, Anna Sorensen, I have so much trouble with that bloody name, it's Anna Sorensen, took on the big boys in the golfing world in the Masters tournament. This saw the boys really show their true colours as they screamed foul and sought to have her removed. Looks like the only male-dominated area of sport these days is obtuse dick-headedness, eh guys? Please, it's a ball on grass with a lot of holes in it. But not unlike our own national sport rounders, where we cross now to punt kick pairing Valmay Valiant as they prepare for the over-16 Rounders Cup. It's over to you, Vic and Valmay.
And thank you, Lindsay. Here I am, punt kick Perry with Valiant Valmay, convener of the over-16 Rounders team, in training for the 2006 Olympic Games. How's it going?
Well, very well indeed.
Good. Now, we're in the kitchen.
Yes.
We were in the living room last time. How long did it take to get to the kitchen?
It took me no time at all. I did a swift Jesus Christ. A little advanced technology that I picked up off the telly tonight, really. Everyone's doing it in New York.
Yeah, very risky.
This is the reason why I have to make a few trips, and I'm trying to raise funds, you see.
All right, yeah.
Yes, I'm raising funds.
What have we got here?
Yes, I'm raising funds by cooking the arancini. And of course, that will help me to make overseas trips so that I can meet with other conveners.
Oh,
now that, of course, I've become a cult figure, I am a little bit agoraphiliac, but I think I can manage to go around the main capital cities and to the Texan ranch. Why not?
Why not?
And, there's the phone. I'm waiting, actually, for a very important call. Yeah. Hello? Yes, Peter. Thank you for calling. What time? 2 o'clock. I'll be there. Bye.
Peter, is
None other than our
Peter?
dear departed DGG. Now, he has promised me a portion of his $180,000 passive income. so that because he is looking for good works to do, one of which will be protecting our over 16 team from any prospective abuse.
Oh yeah, we've got to be
So
careful.
we're delighted to have him on board, and we thank him profusely from the bottom of our hearts. And of course, oh, I'm sorry, it's burning.
Oh, careful.
Never mind.
We'll test that later. We'll have a
We'll
bit of
test
try.
that later.
Thank you, Valiant Valmay.
You're
I'm
more than
Patrick
welcome.
Perry, back to Linz.
Well, that's the point, yeah, but I'd say pretty close to 80% of women have boobies. She'd have boobies. Do you reckon you'll do her, though? Come on, you reckon you'll do her? You don't reckon? No. Right, folks. Oh, get her. Blow germs. Oh, poor. Oh. Well, if I wish I was that multifaceted as our fabulous Valmay Valiant. She's will be following Val throughout her quest to actually get her team to #1 in the International Over 16 Rounders contest coming up in the Commonwealth Games in a venue near you. Now, in finance this week, the footsie is nothing more than a fetish, and the All Ords wish they weren't. So, good community viewers, until next week, remember, one of the loveliest things about being single means you can treat the tube of toothpaste any way you want. Until next week, see you soon. Bye now. Oh, God, Jay, this is hard work. It really is. Like, you know, I'm up all night writing this, and who watches? Who watches, Jay?